Hey guys, my name's Lefty and today's video is called Weeding the Garden. Okay, so in the last video I talked about programming. If you haven't seen that video, go and find it and watch it first. Basically it talked about how from the moment we're born, we're being programmed and taught who we are, taught what we should believe, and how that creates our personality and how we interact with other people and what we think about ourselves. This video, Weeding the Garden, I talk about the process of how to deprogram your mind to find your true nature. Okay, so we're programmed from the time we're born. We're taught everything that we know, and that creates our beliefs, which then creates our personality, which then creates who we are. Not only are we taught, but every interaction we have with people, all the traumas in our lives, all these things give us this picture of what reality is and also what our reality is to ourselves. Weeding the garden is about peeling back those layers to find the nature of who you truly are underneath. In a way, when I say peeling back the layers, it sounds like an onion, but I like to think of it like weeds that you are yanking out of your mind. So how do you do this? I believe it starts with when you get triggered in interactions with people, when somebody says something that you don't want to hear, and it quite often makes you angry or sad or upset. So why do you have this reaction to other people when they say these things? Because they're saying something that you don't want to hear, because it's something about yourself that is probably true that you don't want to face. For me, I've always thought that I'm extremely lazy. So I've spent a lot of my time trying to disprove that to people. So whenever somebody would say like maybe I'm not trying hard enough, or they'll ask me what I've done today, and I will instantly get my back up, because in my mind I don't think I've done enough today. So when they ask me what have you done today, I think that they are attacking me. I think that they're going, you've done nothing today, and now I'm asking you because I'm hitting you up about it. When really, generally, they just want to know what I've done today and they don't really care what I've done. But this is the dialogue I have going on in my head because of my belief that I'm lazy. And for so many years, the majority of my life, I never realized this or even questioned why I would get angry and people would say these things. I just assumed other people saw me the way I saw myself and everybody knew I was lazy. But once I realized how I was being triggered by other people, I went, okay, when did I start thinking that I'm this lazy person? Because I talked to my wife about it and she was saying, you are not lazy. You are constantly putting pressure on yourself to do things all the time. And if you're not doing things, you're constantly talking yourself down about not doing something right or not doing enough. And she was saying, you don't even notice how much you do. And it's because I've got this internal belief that I'm lazy that I couldn't even see the amount I was doing, because it didn't matter what I was actually doing out there, because my beliefs are in here. You can't change your beliefs in here by what you do out there. This is your set point. This is what you have to change. So how do you change the internal? Well, just acknowledging it and realizing what you're telling yourself is a big step to changing that. But then you've got to start tracing it back. You've found the weed, and to get rid of weeds, you have to yank it out at the root. So I started tracing the weed back. When did I start thinking I was lazy like this? And the truth was is that I used to be really, really lazy, and I didn't care. I never beat myself up about it. I just accepted that's who I was. And I guess it's because in my childhood, I don't think a lot was expected of me. I was naturally good at school and things like that, so I didn't have to try. When you never have to try at things and then you face adversity and then you go, oh my god, I'm not good at this, you kind of give up because you just don't have that mindset of overcoming anything, because you've never had to. And I was never pushed to overcome things. I was very good at talking my way around not having to do things, and that followed me throughout the rest of my life. You know, I never really had to try at school, and then when I got to university I didn't really have to try at university either. I just made it through. So that was my set point. I actually was a lazy person. I'm not now, but I still have this belief that I'm a lazy person. But how you change your beliefs is by bringing awareness to it. You trace the weed back as far as you can and you yank it out. Now everybody knows that a garden is that weeds never disappear. They always grow back, but if you stay aware, you keep on top of this, when you have these internal dialogues about yourself, about things you don't like about yourself, you realize instantly, oh, this is that thing. This is that laziness thing that I've already dealt with. I need to yank that weed out again. That's not true anymore. I am trying my hardest and doing the best with what I've got right now. So just like a real garden, you have to constantly give it upkeep. You can't just yank the root out once and think it's gone. No, I mean, it's coming back, but you know it's coming back. And when it comes back, you recognize it. And guess what, guys? I don't like to speak for everybody, but I'm telling you, I'm pretty sure everybody has a garden with a hell of a lot of weeds. So this is the process of uncovering who we really are beyond the programming, is becoming aware of the weeds, yanking them out, and constantly weeding that garden, keeping it weeded. Every time there's negative thoughts come up, every time you get triggered, recognize what's triggering you, what is the root of it, yank it out. There are so many things like I think I've lost probably 30 kgs in the last couple of years, and I still think of myself as a big old fat guy. And it's because it doesn't matter what happens out here. If it's in here, you can't change it by changing out here. So I have to remind myself a lot, hey, you're not that guy anymore. You're not that lazy fat dude. You have worked hard on yourself. And every time I sort of walk past the mirror and I turn sideways, I'm looking at it going, oh, I'm fat. And I even go to Catherine, like, I think I'm getting fat again. And she's like, you're crazy. I have to take responsibility for that and go, this is my weed again. And yank that weed out. Now this amazing thing happens when you follow this process. The more weeds you pull out, the more space you have in your mental garden. And the clearer your thoughts become, and the more actual truth that you can see, and the more in the moment you can be. And as somebody who lived pretty much my entire life of never being in the moment, because I was always letting the past rule my present or worrying about the future that I could never focus on right now. Once you pull these weeds out and you have a clear space in your garden, you start to see reality in a completely different way. And it's beautiful. You start going all these negative ways that I judged myself and all the negativity that I had inside that I didn't project it out. So much of it is gone. And you look at the world for it's almost like you're seeing it for the first time. You're going, wow, I don't think I've ever really looked at a tree. Wow, look at that. Look at the stars. Look at the sun. Don't look directly at the sun, not unless it's like sunset and it's a bit dimmer. But it can be quite the struggle when those weeds start to grow back if you're not staying on top of them, because boy, that garden can overgrow quick. And then it's a long process to get it back, of becoming aware again. So there has to be a balance of being present, but also staying top of being aware of your weeds coming back. And this becomes just like an automatic thing eventually. Well, sometimes I falter, but a lot of the time when I get triggered, I don't get angry at anybody. I instantly go, ooh, what's that trying to tell me? What's that in my tummy? What's that feeling in my not so fat tummy? And then, if I can't figure it out right away, I might meditate. I just be still and I go, okay, we've got to figure this out, because if I let this grow, it's going to take over my mental garden, and then the world is not going to look as beautiful as it did yesterday. So once you've weeded your garden and you're seeing life with clear eyes, you start to realize that, hey, I can add some new beliefs in here, some positive beliefs. I can change those negatives around and find new perspectives on them. I'm not lazy. I just know how to relax. And when the time's right, I put the work in. I'm not jealous. I'm seeing somebody else have what I want, and it's inspiring me to go after it too. You can flip all these perspectives. It's amazing how much perspective creates how you perceive reality. And are you going to let your perspectives be overrun by weeds, or are you going to clear your garden, see clearly, and start creating some positive, beautiful, blooming, flowery roses of perspectives and belief? Once you see the world and your reality for what it really is, you can start creating it. And that's what I'll talk about in the next video. Thank you guys, thank you for watching, thank you for the support and all the kind comments and whatnot. I'll see you all in the next video.